I created and printed this mini storybook that I'm now able to share with my family, including my pet dog that this mini story is created about. Every now and again, a truly tremendous use case for AI comes into fruition, and I feel like this is that. I've been able to create that storybook with just a single prompt using Google Gemini. This tutorial is going to delve into how you can do exactly the same and some of the different use cases that you can use it with. So without further ado, let's jump into the tutorial. To start off with, you want to make sure that you are using Google Gemini. It's free to sign up, and in the corner, you'll see this expanded menu tab. You'll see that I've created a few different things in the past, such as infographics. I've made a plethora of different videos talking about how you can use Gemini to create infographics. I've even created an infographic guide that is available on my website too. You want to make sure that we're using this, which is the gems. When we tap into the gems, you'll see there's a range of different ones. We want to specifically tap onto the Storybook Experiment, but I highly advocate exploring the different gems and ways that you can use them. Essentially what it is a pre-designed prompt so that when you create something and you put something in, it uses that specific prompt to generate that content. So in this example here, we're going to be using that Storybook gem to create it. Now, just to give you some context, it gives you some ideas of some different storybooks you can create immediately. My 7-year-old doesn't want to sleep over at their grandma's house. Create a storybook to help them cope. So this one is to do with coping. This is a photo of my college roommate Amelia. She leaves empty mugs everywhere. Write a funny storybook about how she learns, and I'm guessing to put those away. Using a claymation art style, create a storybook about friendly bees, etc. Finally, using an anime art style, create a storybook for my brother Akito, who just moved out of my parents' house and has to learn to be, I'm guessing, an adult. Now he's in college. We're just going to tap that. Now, I am using fast. I find that it doesn't matter too much, but I want the pictures to be as strong as possible. Typically when I do this, I just make sure it's on that thinking mode so that we're using Nano Pro. When we tap on this, it does also take a little bit of time to generate. So here is what's been generated, the anime style book. We can see we've got our cover here and we can flick through the story. Now, you can see that the main character is called Akito. That means nothing to me, but I can simply change the prompt and twist it in ways that are more suitable and adapted to me, my family, my friends, etc. I can flick through very quickly what that story looks like. As you can see, the down here just shows that there's a little bit more content. So that's quite interesting because when we come to print that off, it might be a bit more of a challenge. So if we just come back, we can see that it's a little bit longer and there's that nice anime style and we flick through. Now, what we can do is we can download that and it downloads as a PDF. We can share this storybook with family, friends, colleagues, but in terms of accessibility, supporting children with special educational needs and disabilities, or simply supporting myself with listening, because audiobooks are big too, we can go onto that listen tab and we can tap whether we want a higher pitch voice, lower pitch voice, start from the beginning, listen in full screen. We're going to keep that on. We're actually going to go for a lower pitch voice, maybe to suit that kind of anime style. And we're going to press listen.
Grocery shopping became a tactical mission. Akito stood in the produce aisle, staring at a head of cabbage as if it were a complex topographical map. He had exactly $12 left for the week. He tapped his phone's calculator, weighing the benefits of fresh fruit against the necessity of laundry detergent. It was a humble lesson in limits, a quiet realization that freedom was tempered by the reality of a budget. Rain lashed against the windows of the dorm lounge, where Akito and Hiro were attempting to assemble a second head.
So there we go. It's been able to read it back to us very well. This is great. I can follow along with that too. If I wanted to, I could come back into this story and I can just simply tailor and tweak this to change the character names, and it would simply change this story. What I want to do is just build a few different stories showcasing how I would use this as a primary school teacher. To do that and to start a new one, I'm going to go back, I'm going to go onto that gem, and I'm going to tap Storybook again. Okay, so with this storybook, I want to make it more applicable as a teacher. I'm going to create a storybook about using AI in the classroom and what is safe. The class are learning these common exception words. So we're thinking year 3. Here are the common exception words, words that children need to learn in year 3. I'm also putting a spelling focus of shun and shun, so making sure that they include words of this effect, style. Watercolor style, we're looking at watercolors in art, so I want to make sure that that's being included. And I know that they really like golden retrievers because our school dog is a golden retriever. It's not, but we can imagine. So there's going to be robots and a dog. The dog should be a golden retriever. And as I said before, I'm just going to put that thinking model on. Let's just find it does a better job of adhering to the prompt when I make sure I put that in. And we'll press submit and come back as it's created. While we're waiting for the story to generate, make sure you go and check out Edtech Empowered, which is available on my website. It's full of 80 free tools that you can use as an educator to inspire your planning, make learning more innovative, and also help you save time, which is also important too. There's all sorts of additional blogs that are available on that website too, videos and things that you can check out. So this is the story that has been created. So this is the mission. So it's already got that spelling in there, the mission for silicon. Let's have a little look through the story. So we've got that golden retriever in there too. Today is a big day for Amara. Amara whispered to Barnaby. Let's have a look and see what those keywords are. See if we can find those in. A fluffy golden retriever wagged his tail with excitement because he was allowed to help Amara learn something new today. Learn, there we go. Straight away we can find learn is in there, something new in her classroom today. Inside the classroom, a shiny robot named Silicon sat waiting on a desk. Welcome students, your mission. So that shun sound is in there. How to use artificial intelligence safely, announced with a friendly beep and wave of his metallic hand. Mara joined her group at a round table near the window. We are going to build a model of a futuristic city together. The only thing I would say is I didn't tell it I needed it to be year 3 level. I told them it was for my class, and I just wanted a storybook about using it in the classroom. I didn't say what level, and what I have done in the past is very specifically say this needs to be for year 3 level, and it does adhere to that and thinks about that age group that it's creating for. So here what I would be needing to do is also make sure that I'm putting that in, but I would be reading this text. The other thing that's really important to note as well is UK spelling. This typically defaults to US spelling, and you can see that down here with colourful. So it's just making sure you put that into your prompt and saying UK spelling, etc. These are the types of things that as you're using it more and more, you start to realize, and this is just one that slipped my mind. So information is that word there too. You can see it's done a pretty good job of including some of those keywords that we're looking at, of including the spelling rule, and I really like that watercolor style too. So it's done a great job. I'll show you a few different examples and, of course, show you how this came to be too. One additional thing I wanted to show you is that you can make slight adaptations to this as you're going along. Now, one way you can make adaptations is by adding files. You need to make sure that the consent is there. Obviously, if you're inputting files, images, making sure that that consent is there, especially I would make sure you're having these key conversations if you're a teacher in school, not putting in children in your class into things like this because they're not typically giving consent for those images to be in there. But as I'm creating this about myself, I am going to put an image in of myself so that I can showcase how you could potentially use this. So you can also upload files. One way you could do this is by uploading a file. Let's say you've got specific spelling rules, specific things that you want to focus on. Maybe you've even got a model text that you want to create a similar model text about. You can do that. If you are then adding from Drive, let's say you use Google a lot in class, you can do that. Photos, the files that I'm on about as well, they can be JPEG, so that's photos. And then also, I'm going to show you how I create the NotebookLM style in a second, but I'm going to upload some files just of me. Okay, so what I've done here is I've added an image of myself in. This is me in Japan, and I've said change the setting to Japan, make the main character Thomas, and use use the image as the main character, change it to UK spelling, so based on what we were saying before, and also make it appropriate for year 3 children. Again, we're on that thinking model. I'm going to press go. Okay, so this is me. You can see the rucksack, very similar. You've got the dog in there. You've got the robot in there too. So I'm not too sure about the grey hair though. We'll see how we get on with this. So the sun was rising over the distant mountains as Thomas and his dog Haichi arrived at school. Today we're going to be doing something very special. Silicon at the charging station. So we've still got those shun sounds. The children were doing things, and there we go. We've been able to. I like the muscular definition though. A bit grey hair, muscular definition is there, and a bit more chiseled. So thanks for that, Gemini. We can see that the spelling is certainly changed, based in Japan. And we've even got the cherry blossoms that are in that image there at the end, which is fantastic. So you can see it's just able to tweak and tailor things a little bit and make it more applicable as is necessary. So let me show you an example of using NotebookLM, because I think it did really well with this. So this is Ambi's Ambitious Adventure. So you can see that I wanted the spelling focus to be shus and shus, phonics. And what I did with that is I actually added files and I pressed this NotebookLM. When I did that, I picked this one, The Magical World of Julia Donaldson. What this is a culmination of different YouTube videos of people reading Julia Donaldson's book. And it's brought all that together, and because it's got the literature inside it, it's pulling influence from that text. So I think it's done a really good job here. I really like the animation style. I don't think it's copying the animation style, although I do really like it, but it's got that kind of Julia Donaldson vibe going on. In a wood full of moss and a tall twisty pine lived Ambi the squirrel, who thought the world's mine. So you can see it's got those rhyming couplets going on there, and he flicks through. So these are really fun stories. I think what's brilliant about this is that I could simply print this off, and I think my nieces would truly enjoy this. I'm going to have a child soon, so I could start to make those tailored discussions, tailored stories about life. Now, do I still want my children to read Julia Donaldson's books? Absolutely, and I would emphasize I prefer them. I think it's truly critical to have author-written stories inside the classroom, and I think that should always be the priority. However, this is a fantastic way to customize literature to specific needs, like I said, to support children who might have additional needs. I know as a teacher, sometimes there's those children who find working on certain topics a lot easier than others. So if I know that I'm going to do a math lesson that's not going to be the most exciting, and I could perhaps tailor it in a way that includes some sort of literature that the child would then be engaged by, I'm going to make that adaptation because it just makes my life a little bit easier in the long run. So you can see that NotebookLM has been used. That's been considered. We can see it's got the shus spell in there too, which is fantastic. So from that, we'll move on to this. This is the thing that you've probably been looking at and wanting to know about, how this kind of came about. So let's get into it. This is Kizzy, my family dog, and the bully of the branch. So you can see that I wanted it to be of a specific style, more of a rhyming adventure. I wanted it to be applicable to that age 3 to 7, about Kizzy the Dachshund. Now, the first story that was generated, I forgot to say miniature wire-haired dachshund. Even from there, then, I put the image in because I'd forgot to put that in the first place. And I'd made those adaptations saying that I wanted it to be a little bit cuter with the dog. Eventually, it did a really good job. However, I remembered that the pigeon had a random name and the squirrel had a random name. And I remembered in my family, we always call every pigeon Percy and we call every squirrel Cyril. I'm sure your family has quirks too. So we said the antagonist pigeon was called Percy, the squirrel is named Cyril, and the image of Kizzy needs to be younger and cuter. So it took a little bit of time, as you can see. Eventually we got there. So deep in the wood where the bluebells grow tall lived Kizzy the Dachshund, a pup very small, etc., etc. With a coat of full wire and beard on her chin, she'd waggle her tail with a puppy dog grin. And there was a bull, etc., etc. And then here we go, a pigeon named Percy who loved causing fear. He puffed out his chest with a boom and a bound and swooped like a shadow right down to the ground. And we keep going through. Oh, here he is. Poor Kizzy was sad and her tail didn't wag till she met a small friend on a jagged crag. Cyril the squirrel had a tail like a cloud. I'll help you, he chattered, quite brave and quite proud. I think what I'll do is, I'll just flick through that and you can read through it and pause it as you go through in your own pace. But I was really proud with how that came out, and my family absolutely loved it. And although I'm sure she didn't understand it and have a clue what was going on, my family dog Kizzy, I know she truly enjoyed that story that was about her too. So there we go. Gemini storybooks, truly, truly powerful. I think there are a tremendous amount of use cases that you could use this with. And I think it's really exciting. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to go and check out Edtech Empowered, my website that is in the description and up there. If you're not already taking the time to subscribe to this channel, I'm going to be making loads of AI and EdTech videos in the future. If you want to use the hype feature, if that's about, or like, feel free to use that. And I look forward to seeing you in a future video. Until then, I'm out.